Have you ever eaten what seemed like a perfectly normal meal only to feel strangely tired, thirsty, foggy, or irritable not long afterward? Maybe it was breakfast. Maybe it was a quick snack in the afternoon. Maybe it was something you thought was actually healthy. A bowl of cereal, a slice of toast, a glass of juice, some crackers, a light lunch. Then, an hour later, your energy crashes, your mouth feels dry, your head feels a little cloudy, and if you happen to check your blood sugar, the number is much higher than you expected. Many adults over 60 go through this again and again without realizing that the problem may not be how much they are eating, but what certain foods are quietly doing inside the body. Hello, I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and in today's video, we're talking about 5 foods that quietly raise blood sugar after 60. This is such an important topic because many older adults are trying hard to make healthy choices, but they are choosing foods that sound harmless, light, or even beneficial, while those very foods may be creating sugar spikes, fatigue, cravings, and long-term metabolic stress. Now let me say something right away. The goal of this video is not to make you afraid of food. It is not to make you think every bite is dangerous. It is not about perfection, and it is certainly not about starving yourself. This is about awareness, because after 60, the body often handles sugar differently than it did in younger years, and once you understand that, you start making much smarter choices without feeling punished. So first, let us talk about why blood sugar often becomes more sensitive after 60. As we age, several things tend to happen at the same time. Muscle mass often declines, and muscle is one of the biggest places where sugar gets stored and used. Activity levels may drop, even if only a little. Insulin resistance becomes more common. Sleep may worsen, and poor sleep alone can raise blood sugar. Stress hormones may become more active overnight. Digestion may change. Medication use becomes more common. And all of this means that foods which barely caused a problem at 40 may create a much bigger sugar response at 65 or 75. Think of your metabolism like a busy roadway. In younger years, traffic flows faster. Cars move through intersections more smoothly. The system can handle more. But after 60, the traffic lights are slower, the roads are narrower, and the exits are more crowded. Sugar still enters the bloodstream, but the body may not clear it as efficiently. That means the same food can create a bigger surge and a longer recovery. And here is the part many people miss. It is often not the obviously bad foods doing the most damage. Many seniors already know that candy, cake, and soda are not ideal. The real trouble often comes from foods that seem innocent. Foods people eat every single day without questioning them. Foods that are marketed as light, easy, heart-friendly, breakfast-friendly, or senior-friendly. So let us start with food number 1. Food number 1, fruit juice. This one catches many people off guard, especially because juice has a healthy reputation. It comes from fruit. It says natural on the label. Sometimes it even says no added sugar. So people think, this must be fine. But after 60, fruit juice can be one of the quickest ways to spike blood sugar. Why? Because when you drink juice, you are taking in fruit sugar without the full fiber structure of the whole fruit. Fiber is incredibly important because it slows how fast sugar enters the bloodstream. When the fiber is stripped away, the sugar becomes much easier to absorb quickly. And because it is a liquid, your body handles it differently than it handles chewing and digesting whole food. Think of whole fruit like logs in a fireplace. They burn steadily. Juice is more like dry paper thrown into a flame. It burns fast, flares up quickly, and then leaves the system unstable afterward. This is especially important in the morning when many people drink juice with breakfast. Orange juice, apple juice, mixed fruit juice, all of these can create a rapid sugar rise. Then a crash may follow. The person feels sleepy, shaky, hungry, or thirsty, and has no idea that their healthy breakfast drink was part of the problem. Now, does that mean fruit is bad? Not at all. Whole fruit is very different. Whole fruit comes with fiber, structure, and usually a slower effect on the body, but juice deserves much more caution than most seniors realize. So if you love fruit, eat the fruit. Chew it. Let the body handle it as food, not as fast liquid sugar. Food number 2, breakfast cereal. Now we come to one of the most common blood sugar foods in the senior kitchen, cereal. Cereal is easy. It is quick. It feels light. It feels gentle on the stomach. Many older adults eat it because they think it is a modest breakfast, but the body often sees it very differently. Most breakfast cereals, even many that sound healthy, are built from processed grains that break down quickly into sugar. Some are sweetened heavily. Others are not obviously sweet but still digest rapidly. Even whole grain claims do not always protect you from a fast glucose rise if the cereal is heavily processed. And here is what makes it worse. Cereal is often eaten with very little protein and very little fat. That means there is nothing slowing the sugar down. The body gets a fast wave of carbohydrate, the blood sugar rises quickly, and many seniors feel the effect later as tiredness, brain fog, and early hunger. This is why someone may eat cereal at 8 in the morning and be starving again by 10. The body got a quick spike, then a quick drop. It did not get the steady fuel it really needed. After 60, breakfast should ideally help stabilize the day. But cereal often does the opposite. It starts the day with sugar stress and leaves people wondering why their energy is weak and their appetite is so unpredictable. Now I know some people will say, "But I have eaten cereal for years." I understand that. But the body at 70 is not the body at 35. The same pattern that once felt fine may now be creating fatigue, cravings, and sugar fluctuations without you noticing the connection. Food number 3, white bread, toast, crackers, and refined flour foods. This category is larger than people think. Many seniors do not eat candy every day, but they do eat toast, bread, crackers, biscuits, or refined flour foods regularly. And these foods can quietly raise blood sugar much more than people expect. Why? Because refined flour is rapidly broken down into glucose. Once fiber is stripped away and the grain is processed into a soft, easy-to-digest form, the body often converts it quickly. That means toast at breakfast, crackers as a snack, or white bread with soup may create a larger sugar rise than the person realizes. And again, these foods are often eaten alone, a few crackers by themselves. Toast with jam, a piece of bread and tea, a couple biscuits in the afternoon. The problem is not only the food itself, it is the context. Refined carbs eaten alone tend to hit the bloodstream fast. There is not enough protein, fat, or fiber to slow the process down. Then the person gets sleepy, hungry again, or starts craving more. This is one reason I often tell older adults, after 60, the question is not only, what did I eat? The better question is, what did I eat it with? Bread by itself is very different from bread eaten with protein and a slower, more balanced meal. Crackers by themselves are very different from a small portion of carbohydrate within a larger mixed meal. The body responds to combinations, not just ingredients. So refined flour foods deserve much more respect than many people give them. They may look small, light, and harmless, but they can quietly keep blood sugar unstable all day. Food number 4, flavored yogurt and healthy snack products. This is where the modern food world becomes very deceptive. A senior may choose flavored yogurt because it sounds healthier than dessert, or a granola bar because it seems lighter than cake, or a high-fiber packaged snack because it says heart healthy on the front. But many of these products are quietly loaded with sugar, sweeteners, refined starches, or concentrated carbohydrates that make blood sugar rise much more than people expect. Flavored yogurts are a great example. Plain yogurt can be a useful food for many people, but once sugar, fruit syrup, honey flavoring, or sweetened add-ins are mixed in, the product changes. The senior thinks they are eating something modest and helpful, but the body may be getting a sugar hit much closer to dessert than to a balanced protein food. The same is true for many snack bars. They look healthy. They mention oats, grains, energy, protein, or fiber. But if you turn the package around and really look, many are little more than processed sugar delivery systems wearing a healthy costume. This matters because packaged healthy snacks often create repeated glucose spikes in people who think they are doing everything right. And that creates a special kind of frustration. The person says, "I barely eat sweets," and technically they may be right, but they are eating modern convenience foods that behave very much like sweets inside the body. Food number 5. Large portions of rice, pasta, or potatoes eaten without balance. Now let me be careful here, because rice, pasta, and potatoes are not evil foods, but large portions of them, especially when eaten without enough protein, vegetables, or fat, can quietly raise blood sugar after 60. This is particularly common at dinner. A plate heavy with pasta, a large side of white rice, a pile of mashed potatoes. A soft, easy meal that feels comforting. And again, because these foods are not desserts, many seniors do not think of them as blood sugar foods. But the body often converts them into glucose quite efficiently, especially when the portion is large and the meal is not balanced. This is why some people say, "I do not understand it. I do not eat sweets, but my sugar is always high." Then you look more closely, and dinner is rice, bread, potatoes, pasta, or some combination of soft, starchy foods with very little fiber or protein to slow the response. After 60, portion size matters, food pairing matters, timing matters. A modest portion of starch as part of a balanced meal is one thing. A large portion of refined or starchy food at night is another, and that leads us into something very important: why these foods often hit harder at certain times of day. Morning is one vulnerable time because many people are more insulin resistant early in the day than they realize. That means juice, cereal, toast, or sweet yogurt can hit especially hard at breakfast. Evening is another vulnerable time because activity drops, the body prepares for rest, and large carbohydrate loads are more likely to linger in the bloodstream. This is one reason sugary or starchy dinners can affect not only evening energy, but the next morning's blood sugar as well. Foods also hit harder when eaten alone. Carbohydrates by themselves tend to enter the bloodstream faster, but when they are combined with protein, fiber, and healthy fat, the rise is often slower and smaller. This is one of the most powerful lessons older adults can learn. Balance changes the blood sugar story. Now let us talk about the signs that these foods may be affecting you, because many people do not connect the symptoms to what they ate. One very common sign is sleepiness after meals. If you feel like you need a nap after breakfast or lunch, pay attention to that. It may not just be age, it may be a fast sugar rise followed by a drop. Another sign is thirst. If you feel unusually dry-mouthed or thirsty after certain meals or snacks, that matters. Elevated blood sugar often pulls fluid balance in the wrong direction and can make the body ask for more water. Brain fog is another big one. Some people describe it as feeling slower, fuzzier, or mentally dull after eating. That is not always random. Blood sugar swings can absolutely affect mental clarity. Cravings are another clue. If you eat breakfast and then feel hungry again far too soon, or if an afternoon snack makes you want more snacks instead of satisfying you, that may be because the meal caused a quick rise and fall rather than providing steady energy. Irritability can be part of the picture too. Blood sugar instability affects mood more than many people realize. A person may think they are just tired or stressed, but the body is often reacting to a metabolic roller coaster. Then there is the pattern many seniors find most frustrating of all: unexpectedly high morning readings. Dinner and evening snack choices the night before often play a larger role than people think. This is why the phrase, quietly raise blood sugar, is so important. These foods are often not dramatic. They do not feel like junk food. They slip into the day through routine, habit, convenience, and misleading health labels. And because of that, they keep affecting people for years without being challenged. So what should you do instead? First, stop thinking only in terms of good food and bad food. That is too simplistic. Start thinking in terms of how your body responds. Second, pair carbohydrates with protein whenever possible. For example, if you eat fruit, consider eating it with the source of protein rather than alone. If you eat bread, try not to make the whole meal just bread. If you eat yogurt, choose a version with better protein and less added sugar. If you eat starches at dinner, keep the portion reasonable and balance the plate with vegetables and protein. Third, eat smaller portions of fast-digesting foods. This does not mean you can never have rice or potatoes again. It means you treat them with more respect and more awareness. Fourth, prefer whole foods over processed food products that pretend to be healthy. The more a food has been broken down, sweetened, softened, flavored, or packaged for convenience, the more cautious you should become. Fifth, move after meals when possible. This is such a simple and powerful tool. A short walk after eating helps muscles take in glucose and use it. That can reduce the size of the blood sugar rise and help the body stabilize more smoothly. Sixth, stay hydrated during the day. Better hydration supports circulation, kidney function, and overall glucose handling. It does not cancel out a bad meal, but it absolutely helps the system perform better. Seventh, be especially careful with late-night eating. Many foods that raise blood sugar quietly during the day become even more problematic in the evening, when the body is less active in preparing for sleep. Now, I want to say something encouraging because I know videos like this can sometimes make people feel as if everything is dangerous. That is not the message here. The message is not fear. The message is clarity. You do not have to eat perfectly. You do not have to become obsessive. You do not have to live in constant restriction. But if you are over 60, you do need to understand that some foods are not behaving the way you think they are behaving. And once you learn that, the whole picture starts changing. Suddenly you realize why breakfast leaves you sleepy, why certain snacks make you crave more, why evening meals affect your morning sugar, why healthy packaged products are not always helping, why you feel better on some days than others. That kind of awareness is powerful because it gives you choices. Instead of being confused, you become strategic. Instead of blaming your body, you start supporting it. Instead of feeling frustrated by random numbers, you begin to see patterns. And patterns are what change health. Let me give you a practical example of how a day can look very different. In the first version of the day, breakfast is cereal and juice. A snack is crackers. Lunch is white bread and a sweet yogurt. Dinner is a large plate of pasta. And then there is a late-night snack while watching television. This person may feel tired, hungry, thirsty, foggy, and frustrated by the next morning's sugar. In the second version, breakfast includes more protein and less fast sugar. Juice is replaced with whole fruit or water. Snacks are less refined. Meals are more balanced. Dinner is earlier and not so starch-heavy. There is a short walk after eating. Late-night sugary snacks are reduced. This person often feels steadier, calmer, and less confused by their energy and sugar patterns. That is not punishment. That is strategy. Now, I would love to hear from you. Tell me your age and where you're watching from today. And tell me this: which of these 5 foods shows up most often in your routine? Is it juice, cereal, bread or crackers, flavored yogurt or packaged snacks, or large portions of rice, pasta, or potatoes? I read your comments, and they help me understand what this community is dealing with every day. And let me leave you with this. After 60, the body gives clearer feedback than many people realize. Fatigue after meals, thirst, brain fog, cravings, high morning readings. These are not always random annoyances. They are often signals that the food looked harmless. But the body experienced it very differently. The good news is that once you understand which foods quietly raise blood sugar, you do not need to live in the dark anymore. You can make smarter swaps, better pairings, better timing, better portions. And those small changes add up. I'm Dr. Adrian Keller, and it has been a pleasure spending this time with you today. Keep listening to your body. Keep learning its patterns. And remember, the goal is not perfection. It is steadier energy, better circulation, clearer thinking, and more independence. I look forward to our next conversation. Until then, take good care of yourself and be wise about the foods that seem harmless, but may not be as innocent as they appear.